Hello, Leo. Welcome to your, let me roll up my sleeves here. Welcome to your April 2025 reading. My name is Nigel and you have found Alchemy. Now, I don't know if you've listened to your spring reading yet, but these cards in the center are taken from that reading. We did a spring overview that was pretty summarizing, and now we're going to expand upon it. Here's your expanded reading, okay? So, just to rehash this a little bit, you did pull the Nine of Pentacles here. And let me get my pointer. It's a very large card. The Nine of Pentacles, I mean, very ego-minded, right? Practical solutions, confidence, grounded energy. It's an I was right type energy. I'm right, I was right. And we have this ego card that points to, yes, you may be right, but try not to be too prideful. Try not to be too full of yourself in this situation. I think it might backfire on you, to be honest with you. Let me move this just a little bit. And the Page of Pentacles, which is Moon in, by the way, this is straight up Earth energy. It doesn't have any astrological correspondence as we know it in some other decks. Here we have the Page of Pentacles, and this is Moon in Taurus. And this is, yeah, you're holding on to something. It's quite new. When I say new, it doesn't have to be that day. It could be something that happened recently, something that you're hanging on to. And I can't help but think with these other two cards, it's more like, see this? I'm holding on to this because I know I'm right type thing. But you have Jupiter and Leo energy in reverse here with the Six of Wands, right? Overconfidence. It kind of goes with what we were saying. Be careful not to be overconfident, even though you're right. It's obvious you're right. But that doesn't mean that you should be full of yourself and have all this vanity. I know that, saying that to a Leo could fall on deaf ears. I myself am a Leo rising, so I kind of get it. But here in your advice, you do have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is Sun and Scorpio, at least in this deck. And it's advice. So the clues to this situation may lie in your past, with your family, with your upbringing, or either your distant past or your not so distant past. It is a card of past. So there's clues here that if you take a microscope to your childhood, to the way you were raised, there's certain clues here that might give you an indication about this. But the overall vibe here is that, yes, Leo, you are right, okay? You do have two sixes and you have one reverse six. So there's some stress that's still around from the conflict that we experience in the number 5. So there may have been a conflict in the past, that the edginess of that conflict may still be sort of harboring itself around you. Now, let's move on to your overarching energy for the month. Might as well start with this. It's, goes with that. 77, I am brave. It's time to move on from the old patterns. This is from your past, old patterns and habits and fears. Now is the time to walk in the direction of your biggest desires and ambitions. Now is the time to be bold and brave. That's an easy energy for a Leo to walk in, isn't it? Absolutely. You have the card of grace coming in reverse in this deck anyway. Reverse cards are very good, right? It says grace, blessing, come to me to set me free. Number 20 in this deck. And when these cards come in reverse, this is something that's going to come to you naturally this month, Leo. So yes, you will walk in grace, goodwill. If you're a believer in God, it's God's grace. It's favor, right? So you are favored here. And I'm sure that doesn't help the whole vanity pride thing, right? Knowing you're right, knowing that you have a leg to stand on, knowing that you're holding on tight to this thing could easily lead to a prideful, egotistical situation. So just keep it in check. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying to surrender. I'm just saying to keep it in check. Now you have the new pearl. The new pearl is number 44 in this deck. It's irritation for a reason. How are pearls made, right? With that irritation inside them. A single grain of sand that causes an irritation. It causes the clam, or the oyster, to soften the edges and produce a pearl. Something of value. Uncomfortable for a goal, irritation for a reason. So whatever it is you're going through, it might be uncomfortable, but it's good for your growth. Okay? You have the shaman. And as you can see, this is number 16 in this deck. And usually the shaman studies something intently. You could be studying something, finding value, leveling up, finding doorways, going from the student to the shaman, going from someone who's studying to someone who knows. And this could be the same exact thing we're talking about here. It could be a totally different thing. You could be studying something for school. You could be studying something for work. You could be studying the people around you to get to a higher level of understanding of who you're dealing with. I was speaking to someone recently about, actually it was my daughter, about the day that a child, an adult child, looks at their parents like they're people with flaws instead of these infallible beings that are disappointing us, right? You look at them like, well, they're just human and they make mistakes and they have flaws that are different from mine. The minute a child does that and crosses over, they have leveled up into a maturity, right? You no longer look at them like they're God. They're just people, right? And they have good points and they have bad points. And it's the same thing the day that a mother looks at their child in the same way, right? You look at your child and you're like, okay, I see their good points. I see their bad points. I love them anyway, but I don't do it blindly. And that could be with anything. It could be with a job. It could be with a vocation. It could be with a friendship. It could be with anything. It's going to be different for all of you here, Leo. Now, what's interesting here, you did pull Gemini. And you pulled this card out in your spring reading for your overarching energy for the whole spring. So Gemini is important. Gemini season is May, June, like the end of May and the first half of June. Well, actually, it's actually most of the month of June. So definitely look to May and June for certain things to resolve, just for certain things to get better, for sure. Something may reach into Gemini season. But on April 6th, the Sun in Aries sextile Jupiter in Gemini, and just so you know, that is a very good luck day. Anything you wish success in, you should pursue. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be asking for a raise. It could be leveling up. It could be speaking to your significant other, having an important conversation. Whatever it is you find important, because this also came out in your overarching energy, I would definitely take it seriously. I'd also take Gemini season seriously because I do think that it really means something for you in particular, Leo. Let's do your charms real quick. You have C, W, D, I, F. This could be anything. Like I always tell you, it could be someone's initials. D could be dad. W could be woman. You have to sort of, it could be a restaurant. It could be an airport. Could be a city. You have to have a very open mind when it comes to these readings and the letters. And by the end of the month, you're going to see something come together with them. You have here the arrowhead. So you have an arrowhead that is sort of upside down, and it's made out of shungite. Arrowheads in general, the symbolism there is strength, protection, direction. It's something that's going on internally because it is upside down. It's something that's going on inside you. There's a lot of change going on here. And shungite in general is a crystal of that protects us against electromagnetic things. It's electromagnetic protection, purification. It destroys harmful pathogens. So what is it in your life that you're finding toxic that you are trying to destroy and perhaps with this ice cube freeze out, right? There might be something you're deciding to freeze out. Pretty interesting. Now, when we look into your Norse cards here, you have, let me see, this is going to keep moving here. You have a Grimnia. That's how you pronounce it. And it's the reconciliation of opposing forces. A solution, a compromise is afoot here. You also have Othalia, right? And this is a ruin. It's a ruin regarding ancestry, family, choosing what parts of your childhood or upbringing or family values to bring with you on your journey and keep, and which to abandon. We all do it. We all love parts of our childhood. We all dislike parts of our childhood or dislike parts of the way we were raised, or, you know, and that's also a part of maturity. So there is something here that you're trying to compromise on, or at least you're thinking about bringing two opposing forces together. Um, and it has something to do with your family, according to this ancestry card and this Six of Cups card, as far as I'm concerned here, Leo. Now, I'm going to move this up here and start down here. You have, now these are your 3 legs for the month. And it's been coming back to me, you know, that sometimes the legs are out of order. And this is not a science. It's tarot, right? And it's a general reading in tarot. So the last leg might be your first leg. Each Leo is going to experience this differently. So there are 3 legs to your journey here. And the first leg we're looking at anyway is isolating thoughts, right? Now, isolating thoughts could mean many different things. But I really believe in this reading, it has something to do with you having thoughts that you don't readily share with either the people around you or perhaps certain people around you. You have the Knight of Wands, and as you can see in this particular deck, you can see the Lion clearly. You know, the Knight of Wands could be Sagittarius in many decks, but in this card, it's obviously Jupiter in Leo. And it is a surge of energy, confidence. It asks you to finish what you start. If you've started something, it's time to finish it. It is definitely moving forward with confidence. I mean, you could see it just depicted in this picture. The next card up here is the Six of Pentacles, and this is Moon in Taurus. And the Six of Pentacles is generosity. It is finding balance where perhaps there wasn't. It's support, it's fairness, it's perhaps you trying to be fair with something. Maybe somebody around you trying to be fair with something. There's a fairness here, but you do have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse following that. And the Nine of Pentacles is Venus and Virgo energy. It's hard work, but there's no reward for this work yet. So you're doing this work kind of on faith, right? You might feel a little frustrated. I don't see frustration per se. Some of you may feel frustrated, but you're not getting the reward you're putting in. But I really believe that you believe that there is a reward afoot. And I like that Knight of Wands energy setting forth with your wand. It's fiery, just like you. It has the lion on it, just like you. And we add this up and we break it down, we get Venus energy, right? So this could have something to do with your love life, for sure, or it could have something to do with your goals, because Venus also rules our money. It could be both for some of you. So that's Taurus and Libra energy. Now, as we move on to leg 2, we have distance, retreat, or time out. Distance, retreat, or time out. Distancing yourself from someone or something, freezing something out. Yeah, it goes with this ice cube. It goes with the ice cube. Now let's look at the rest of these cards. It says the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is Saturn in Taurus energy. Saturn in Taurus energy. Patience, perseverance, growth. Perhaps, I have to straighten this out. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't. Perhaps you're starting to see the remnants of some sort of reward for your perseverance. That's really nice energy here. You have the Knight as your center card for the whole reading. You do have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Now, I've seen readers talk about the Knight of Swords in different terms, and certainly you could interpret it so many different ways. But I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the rest of your cards, and the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. He's diagonally across from the Knight of Wands. And I really like the fact that it's in reverse, because I think you're slowing down. You know, yes, you're confident. Yes, you're moving forward, but you're doing it in a very calculated way. The Knight of Swords is Mercury in Gemini energy, and it's not moving too fast. You do have the Five of Cups here. And yeah, the Five of Cups is Mars and Scorpio energy, disappointment in something or someone, but something valuable remains. Usually, you know, I could hold this card up, but it's so dark you probably won't be able to see it. If you know anything about tarot, you already know, right? This person is looking at these three spilt cups, and behind him there's two standing still. So there's something of value here, right? Something of value remains, but you are distancing yourself from something else. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Jupiter energy. So that's really good. It means you're on the right track. It's expansion. It's growth. Sometimes we have growing pains with growth. Here on your final leg, it says release, surrender, and purge, right? So you go from distancing yourself to releasing something, freezing something out. It's that same type of energy, right? You have justice here in reverse. And here's the why. Something was unfair. Justice in reverse is an unfairness, right? Something unfair occurred or will occur during, either it happened already or it's going to happen during this leg. And I have to tell you, because of the next card and because of the Five of Cups, remember when I said someone's looking ahead and seeing three spilled cups? There is an unfairness here, and the very next card is the Three of Cups in reverse. The Three of Cups. So there was an unfairness here, and the unfairness involves three people. Mercury in Cancer energy. It involves three people. You have the Hierophant as your final card, and that is straight up Taurus energy, and it can be looked at as a little bit of a stubborn card, but it is a renewed commitment to yourself or something that you consider very important. It's a renewed commitment. So those two cups that are standing behind you involves the Hierophant. Sometimes it does mean marriage. Sometimes it means a commitment that way. Sometimes it means a self-commitment. You're like, I'm releasing this. It's toxic. It's not good for me. It's not good for my situation. And I'm recommitting. I'm doubling down on my commitment to myself. I like that. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Scorpio energy, which is Pluto, right? Death and rebirth, releasing something so something else can come to fruition here, Leo. Now, when we look at our challenges, you have self-worth and you have Mercury. And what's fascinating is Mercury is Gemini's ruler. So the Mercury thing seems to be very important this spring. You have your self-worth is on the table. Somebody has sort of tweaked your self-worth. Your expectations. You could have been disappointed in someone's behavior. Someone could have tweaked your self-worth and say, am I not worthy of X, Y, and Z? It could very well be that. You have here the Page of Swords, and that is Mercury and Gemini energy, right? Mercury and Gemini energy, it's a message or a conversation. Now, this is your challenge column. So your challenge might be communication. You might find it challenging to communicate with someone or a group of someone's. It could be those three cups we have that are knocked over. But there's a message or a discussion coming in here with this Page of Swords, right? And it leads straight into the Nine of Swords in reverse. And this is fascinating. Mercury and Gemini energy again. I mean, I've never seen something come out so much, a release of stress. So you're going to find it challenging to release this stress, but you're going to do it, okay? You have the Star coming in reverse as well. And the Star is Aquarius, straight up Aquarius energy. It could be a person that you're dealing with that's not feeling themselves. It could be that something has not been healed. And sometimes we try to heal things and are unsuccessful at healing things. And we have to deal with that and not take it as a failure because you're dealing with other people, right? So if this was all within your power to change, I'm sure you would change it. But you have other moving parts here, other people involved here. And so, you know, you're going to find that challenging this month. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Saturn energy. And that's Capricorn, Aquarius energy, lessons, karma, hard work. Definitely, I can see that. Now, looking at your opportunities, I like this. You're going to be receiving messages, and these messages could be they're coming from you, Leo. So it could be thoughts that you have while you're driving. It could be thoughts that you have while you're sleeping that manifest into dreams. It could be a gut feeling that you have, but don't forget, this is your opportunities column, and you have Jupiter energy again, right? New beginnings, expansion, courage, fire energy like yourself, action, taking action, taking action. Now, interesting. This is your opportunities column, and all three of these cards are reversed. So let's take them one at a time. You have temperance in reverse, which is Jupiter energy, actually. It's Sagittarian energy. Breaking free from something that does not produce results, pushing boundaries, no longer placating people around you, standing firm, standing very firm, okay? You have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and this is Sun in Taurus energy. And it's sort of prioritizing personal growth, breaking free from a very strict, limiting situation. The King of Pentacles has long-reaching tentacles. It could have something to do with your past. You do have the Two of Wands in reverse. And, the Two of Wands in reverse is Mars and Aries energy, reassessing your path, reassessing what you want to accomplish, reassessing how quickly you want to accomplish something, reassessing what's good for you and what's not. There is like a new you, so to speak, on the table. And what does that new you require? There's something new. It's a new version of you, for sure. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy, Piscean energy. It's confusing. It's a confusing time, but it's necessary to cut through whatever limiting situations you're in or you happen to be involved in. Let me grab this deck here. Give me a card to close out. I'm going to close out this reading with a card from this deck. Then I'm going to do your numerology, okay, Leo? So close this out for Leo, please. Give me one card for Leo. Make it abundantly clear, Spirit. You have the Hermit, Virgo energy, contemplation, a search for truth, inner guidance. I can see that, the search for truth. And here you have the High Priestess, which is more Piscean energy. Intuitive, subconscious, the inner voice, same type of energy. But, to take it a step further, the High Priestess doesn't speak as much as she listens. So you might be observing the people around you and honestly forming opinions that are brand new about the people around you. Leveling up for sure, but it looks like a process. It looks like a process. And I stick by my word. I think it does involve 3 people because the number 3 came out so much. Now we add all the numbers up in your reading and we break it down. We get the number 9, which is Mars Aries energy, right? It could be looked at as warlike energy. It could be confidence, moving forward with a new, renewed sense of purpose. Fire energy like yourself, but a little bit stronger. Definitely passion. You have maybe a new passionate avenue opening up for yourself. When we look at the numbers themselves, the 2 numbers that came out the most were number 6 and number 5. And number 5 is Mercury. Mercury, Gemini energy, very important here for you, right? It's that Gemini Virgo energy, but I'm going to stick to my guns and say Gemini here. And Venus. Number 6 is Venus, the Taurus Libra energy we talked about. This could be love. It could be goals. Honestly, it could be both, right? For sure. Your lucky numbers are 16, 44, 14, 20, 9, and 6. The signs we discussed here are Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, Capricorn, Aquarius, Aries, Pisces, Taurus, Sagittarius. The 2 signs that came out the most, number 1 is Taurus, which is Venus energy. It's that Hierophant energy, that recommitment to yourself. And Gemini, which isn't shocking, right? It's that Mercury energy that we talked about over and over in this reading. And the planet that we discussed the most, and when I say that, I'm talking about it came out on a card or a number, Mercury. So take that very, very seriously. Take that Gemini season in your life very, very seriously. There's going to be important things that occur, and I really do think it all starts here in April. I wish you all the luck, and I will see you next time.